This is a special podcast presentation from 700WLW.com. This is Doc Thompson On Demand.
It's after 10 on the big one, 700 WLW. I'm Darryl Parks in for Doc Thompson. Yesterday, news broke of an Earth-like planet about 600 light years from us right now. It has an orbit similar to the planet Earth. It is called Kepler 22b. So when we see things like this, the first time a planet has been identified to be Earth-like, we go to our outreach astronomer from the Cincinnati Observatory, Dean Regas. Dean, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing this morning?
This is exciting news, isn't it?
Very exciting, very exciting. But let me warn people ahead of time, this doesn't mean there are Earth-like creatures on this Earth-like planet. Let me say that first.
I thought there'd be like ETs.
Well, our telescopes aren't quite good enough to see people waving back at us from space. But this is pretty exciting because this is the first planet that we're seeing at the right distance from the star to be something we want to look at again.
All right, so this is going to be published in what, the Astrophysical Journal?
Yeah, it'll be all over the place, and this is one of the first sets of data coming from this mission called Kepler, which is looking at a very small piece of the sky, and even from that small piece, they're finding planets all over the place. It's amazing.
All right, so for a layperson like me, what is Kepler? That's like a satellite?
Yes, that's the name of the satellite. It's named after the Renaissance astronomer who is great at discovering planetary orbits. And so it's looking for planets that cross in front of their stars. They call it a transit. And when it does that, it can actually pick up the dip in light that happens when this little planet goes in front of their star.
I mean, there are billions of stars. I mean, how does it focus on such a minute portion of the sky like that?
Well, it has to kind of zero in on individual stars, and this one can actually take in a swath of sky at a time, and so it can actually, you don't have to look at each star just by itself. You can look at a few at a time, and then, see if there's any repeatable dips in light, and then there you go, you got a planet. But this is pretty rare to happen for our solar system. We rarely have planets going in front of the sun. We have one when Venus is going to go in front of the sun next year, and that won't happen again for 100 years. So finding a planet going in front of a star is pretty rare, and the fact that they found so many planets means there's lots of planets out there.
Well, now they are saying what there's like 54 planets that they think are like this planet. Is it that many? But this is the first one that looks like Earth, and it has rocks. It has what, water? Right.
Well, we're not quite sure about the components exactly, but the size would be an indicator that there could be liquid water on it, and its distance from the planet. But the actual elements haven't been confirmed yet as on there. So that's the other thing. I want to get people to be a little cautious before they start thinking about this is going to be our new colony we're going to go to. But it's incredibly far away too.
Yeah, well, when you hear about billions and billions of light years, and you hear figures like that, this is relatively close in astronomical terms. 600 light years away.
Yeah, that's still, going to space travel is still very difficult, and going even 1 light year would take us about 10,000 years by normal, rocket power. So going to this star is impossible for us at the present time, but this is an indicator of, this is just the first one. I can't wait for the rest of the data to start coming out, because this satellite's just gotten started, and before this, we knew of about 700 planets around other stars. That's from ground-based telescopes and whatnot. This telescope is potentially going to add 2,000 planets to that list. So just quadruple the number of planets that we know of, and that's just from one little part of the sky.
What I read yesterday was that this planet has a temperature of about 70 degrees.
Could be, yes. Could be right around that temperature.
Mm-hmm. How is that judged? I get how the telescope and the satellite there is measuring dips in light, but how does it measure what the temperature would be from 600 light years away?
Yep, good question. question, and it's an estimate. It's an estimate based on a few different factors. One, the brightness of the star that's going around. Two, the distance from the star. And three, the preliminary findings of what is in the atmosphere. So right now, this is very preliminary, that's for sure. So we want to stress that, and that it's going to take some follow-up from other telescopes. And so the word has been out about this a little bit. We've been hearing some hints about it. But what's great about the scientific community is they try to wait a little longer and try to confirm things. So this has been confirmed by other telescopes that it's been there, and so they're waiting for some of these others to come out too, and we might find some even more interesting ones, because this planet's about 2.4 times our diameter, so it's a big planet. So we're still looking for ones a little closer to Earth size. That would be even a better thing.
Well, would that be a difference, though? I mean, since this thing is about 2.5 times the size of Earth, would that have an effect on supporting life?
It very well could be, because right now the only place we know where life exists is on this planet. So we use our planet as a model for other ones that are out there. So let's say we have this gigantic planet, and just think the gravity would be different, the weather system would be different. There'd be a whole lot of different factors on this, and so are we just in the right place in the right time, in a unique place that we have life, and others have to be exactly like this, or can there be other places where this would work?
So how's the gravity come into play there? So if this is 2.5 times the size, if like for instance, I'm 6'2", I weigh about 205 pounds. Would I weigh 410 pounds?
You'd be quite a heavy guy up there, that's for sure.
So I would be like double.
It would be hard to. It depends on the density of the planet. I haven't seen any figures to say exactly what the gravity will be, but it would be considerably more. So yeah, you'd weigh at least probably double, maybe more than that.
All right. So let's say one of those long races of 26 miles, you probably can only make it about a half mile.
Not only that, you'd have a hard time getting up in the morning, that's for sure. If you think getting up on a December morning in Cincinnati's tough with the weather, try getting up with the double gravity.
Well, Dean Regas, astronomer from the Cincinnati Observatory. What in the big picture, because this has never been revealed before. As you said, in the community, people have been talking a little bit on the in the back rooms that this has been discovered. In big picture, what does this mean? Well,
what it says to me is that we're just getting started in this game of looking for planets around other stars. And I have to say, the findings from this mission are way beyond what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe a couple dozen planets, a couple hundred maybe, but in 1 year to find about 2,000 planets, this is unbelievable. And so when we look at the whole sky, this really kind of goes to what we were hoping as astronomers, that we have so many stars out there, and if even a portion of them have planets, and even a portion of those are planets like Earth, and even a portion of those are planets like Earth with life, there could be a lot of life out there, that's for sure, just waiting for us to find it.
Do we want to meet E.T.?
I certainly do, that's for sure.
What if they don't like us?
We're in trouble then, but I would certainly like to know if they're out there. But you also mentioned the distances involved. These are incredible distances away. So this leads us to some thoughts. What would it take to get across that vast space? Is it possible to even travel that far? Are we just in two different places and can maybe communicate other ways? Going to visit, that could be a tricky one. And but I certainly like the idea of us not being alone out there.
It's a fascinating thought, because if it is ever proven in our lifetimes, and certainly centuries or a millennium from now, if it's ever proven there is life on other planets, really a lot of our beliefs change.
Oh yeah. I mean, this could be the next movement. That if we thought the Earth was the center of the universe, and now we're not even the center of the galaxy, and now we know the galaxy is not the center of everything. And to find life somewhere else, that could really, it does take our uniqueness away a little bit. But I think, for me, that's more exciting. I mean, the adventure of seeing what's out there, and I try not to go out on limbs too much, but I say that we will find life somewhere in the universe by the end of the century. Is that too much of a limb?
Well, you're not going to be around. What do you care?
It's good to make predictions like that, isn't it?
Yeah, Dean Regas back in 2011 said, whatever happened to that guy?
Whatever happened to him? See, I'll be long gone. So,
you said, one of the things, Dean, that fascinates me, and I look at you. I mean, this is your business. I took a couple astronomy courses in college because I thought it was interesting. But I'll never forget. As a teenager, I drove across the country, and I grew up in along the Great Lakes in upstate New York. And I remember driving to Phoenix, and we got to where we were going was about 70 miles north of Phoenix in the mountains. It was Pine, Arizona, my buddy and I. Mm-hmm. And we sat there in his sister's yard and just looked up at the sky because we had never seen the amount of stars that were available to be seen. Because of light pollution along the Great Lakes.
Oh, yeah.
And we sat there for hours and just stared up at the millions upon millions of stars. And I think, people that have never been to the observatory or people that have never been out to rural areas such as Arizona or New Mexico or just out in the middle of nowhere. I mean real rural areas. And they have no idea the amount of stars.
Oh yeah, it's a shame that of all the light pollution that we've had and the increasing light pollution makes it very difficult to see the stars. And that is one thing we want to try to encourage people to do, to get that experience, to go out in the country and see these stars, and also to make use of the place they have right here in Cincinnati. We have a very unique observatory that people can come over and visit and check us out. Most of the time, we have an open house this Sunday night from 6:30 to 8:30, and people can just drop in, see the old telescopes, and have a look at Jupiter.
Dean Regas, Kepler, the satellite, the telescope, where is it now?
Well, the satellite is up in orbit and quite a distance from the Earth, and it's still mapping out new territory, and this is just the preliminary results. Like I said, I can't wait to see what's coming next. I would imagine, given enough time, we're going to be finding a whole mess of stuff out there.
So is it orbiting Earth, or is it out in the solar system, or out of the solar system?
Boy, that's a good question. I'm not sure where exactly the satellite is currently. I'm going to have to look that up. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's all right. I just, it makes sense that it would go out farther and then take pictures and be able to see things like this.
Doesn't necessarily have to go that far. The Hubble telescope, for instance, is only about 300 miles above us, so it's right around the Earth's atmosphere, or just above the Earth's atmosphere. So it doesn't have to be far up. But boy, I'm sorry about that. I can't say for certain where the actual thing is right now.
So if there were life on this planet, would the life look like us?
Oh, I would imagine no. I would imagine we're pretty we're at the long end of a lot of changes in the Earth and a lot of changes in life, and I would imagine that life elsewhere is going to look quite different, and so that's going to be the other experiment: is are we going to be able to recognize life when we see it? Imagine.
Whoa! I never even thought of that.
Imagine.
Whoa! I mean, so life could. What do you mean?
Well, imagine you're an alien coming to Earth and you land somewhere. Let's say you land in the high Arctic, and you look around. There's no life that you can tell, but if you dig down, you might see some microbial life or something like that. If we go to another planet, this could be in a form that we've never seen before, and
like a blob.
It could be a blob. It could be something that doesn't move. We have trees that are living things. There could be things like that on other planets that don't move, but are they living or are they not living? Are they based on carbon life forms like most of life on Earth, or are they other forms of life? It boggles the mind to think about it. And that's where all the science fiction writers have field days.
Wasn't it Stephen Hawkins that said that we really don't want to meet E.T.?
He did. He's a little nervous about us actually meeting E.T. Because the thought would be, they would be such advanced civilizations that they would make us look like we are to ants. Essentially, that's how it would be like. So he is a little nervous about it. So he's against us actually trying to contact alien worlds. But I'm sorry, but the genie's out of the bottle. All of our radio broadcasts and TV broadcasts are out there. We're a very loud planet, so if anybody wants to listen in, they can find us.
That's right. 600 light years from now, at some point, this signal from the big one's going to reach it.
That is true. We got 600 years until they might hear us from over there. So, yep. So we got some time to to think about what message we might want to send too.
When's the additional data going to come out on Kepler 22b?
That's a good question. It's under constant scrutiny. They're looking at it from ground-based telescopes now, just to confirm all the findings and find out the rest of the details.
So if ET was waving at us, would they admit it?
Oh, of course. Really? Now, and this is one of the kind of myths about astronomers, is that we're very secretive and we keep to ourselves. Au contraire. We are the chattiest bunch of people ever. And if somebody finds something, oh man, it's out there, because there's a lot of competition with astronomers. The first person to find stuff, that's the first person wins. So there's a lot of competition for this, and that would be the story of the century. So we would not keep it a secret, that's for sure.
What do you win?
Oh, fame and fortune, of course.
Okay. I thought it was like some cash. All right, never mind.
That's right, fame and fortune. No, I mean, you take example of the fellow Mike Brown, who discovered the biggest thing bigger than Pluto. I mean,
Mike Brown, the Bengals owner, discovered the thing bigger than Pluto?
No, not that Mike Brown. Different Mike Brown. Dr. Mike Brown from California.
He's a doctor?
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a juris doctor. He's a lawyer.
Wow, I did not know that. Doctor of football, probably, too. And this Mike Brown from California, he finds this planet, and there's no reason to keep it secret. He gets that, and there he is. So whatever you find a comet, you get your name on the comet. You find a planet, you get to name the planet. It's not something we keep secret, and from whenever I meet an astronomer, if you get them started about their topic, that's it. You lost 30 minutes.
All right. Dean, have yourself a wonderful week.
You too. Thanks for having me on.
We'll see you, Dean. Dean Regas, who is the outreach astronomer at the Cincinnati Observatory. Mike Brown has discovered a planet, and he has his name on it. Take that, Bengal fans. 22 after 10, 700 WLW.